Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Something that was said today resonated with me, that teachers can teach, but also be collaborators and learn from students. And my students, my former students, are my mentees and my mentors. They're bright lights, they're thinking creatively, they're about the future. And I have learned so much, and I'm in touch with them to this day, and they stay in my life. I've watched how they've grown, and I've really grown with them.
Hello, and welcome to UpClose Personal, Season 3, where we dive deep into the heart of collective action, leadership, and education equity. I'm your host, Alron. Today, I have the utmost pleasure of interviewing Ms. Camille Massey, President and CEO of Synergos. Camille, how are you doing?
Very well. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're having a great day here at InvokED.
It is an incredible day here. So inspiring, uplifting. So yes, thank you.
To start us off, there's this trend happening on social media right now where we are going back to 2016 and we're sharing our pleasant memories from 2016. On that note, what has been the biggest change for you, both personally and professionally, between 2016 and 2026?
Well, I was working in education 10 years ago at a university running a Center for International Peace and Justice, working with young people, with fellows around the world, doing global work. And about 2 years ago, so currently, I am at Synergos, a global organization, and the word means synergy. And we work for a more just and equitable world. We have offices around the world, and we also are a global network of philanthropists, of social entrepreneurs, of fellows who are experts from civil society. And I'm delighted. In fact, in some ways, I feel that everything that I have done in life has been leading up to this point. So a decade later, I'm delighted to be working at Synergos.
And what has been the growth for you personally, between 2016 and 2026?
Well, one area, Synergos believes very strongly in inner work, and inner work can lead to greater outer impact. And so bringing all aspects of who I am to my work and being able to go deep to understand, what are my fears? What are my aspirations? What do I think I can give in the world and share in the world? And I really appreciate that Synergos takes this approach, because I think it's given me an opportunity to learn more about how I can contribute. And at Synergos, we believe very much in collective leadership. And to be able to work with such inspiring people around the world, and including Mantra for Change, the Shibboleth family, Shikshat Lokam. I mean, this has been so joyous, and I feel like I'm part of movements that are really going to change the world.
That's very interesting. Just to pick up on two things that you just mentioned. In this day and age, we are using the word collaboration, collective action a lot. Why is collaboration so important now more than ever?
Well, the changes we face are vast. They're complex. There's not anything that one single person, one organization could achieve alone. And I think it's intellectually so challenging. And when you think about all the talent that we have in the world, everyone comes with different experiences from different places, from their lived experiences, from their studies, their education. So to be able to bring talent together, and in a way that is more about a collaboration rather than a hierarchy, and to think about the way that we can each bring our own talents and our own networks together, then you're going to create real momentum when you look at something like the needs of of education and how education for all could be transformative in the world and the joy it can bring. I mean, education, jobs, security, having that sense of purpose in life. Think about the numbers of children who their lives could be transformed. Right. So anyway, that excites me.
Since there are so many positive aspects of collaboration and collective action, what is one thing you can do that can easily get collaboration wrong? What is the easiest way to mess it up? And how do you think we can best avoid that?
That's a very good question. Again, I'll just speak a moment about trust. Having the time to listen deeply to others, to be open to learning, to thinking a different way, to think creatively and be open to other solutions.
Right.
And particularly those who are living most proximate to the issue. So for me, we talk about speed and urgency, and yes, I believe in that. We should be ready for action. But if we act too quickly without that community-centered approach and that time that it takes, then we could get it wrong. We could really mess it up. And at Synergos, we found in much of our work, for example, in Bangladesh, we went in with one problem. We were asked to address the problem of child drowning, a safety issue. But we were in the households, our team there, led by Esha Hishan. She went into the households with her team, learned and listened, and it was not just about safety, it was about education and nutrition. There was a holistic approach, which led to partnerships with government and the private sector and integrated childcare systems. So it takes that time, that deep listening and learning that can really lead to sustainable systems change.
That's very interesting. I mean, my work here as Shikshagraj made me realize that sometimes collaboration can come so naturally as well, because you realize there's the same problem statement that you want to solve towards, and there's already a partner organization or organization that's working in that geography altogether. Which goes back to my second follow-up question I had initially. You talked about approach. You have been in education for a decade, as I said earlier. What has been the thing that has been motivating you to be in education? What has been the thing that's been the motivation for you from the very beginning that you want to be part of this cause?
Well, something that was said today resonated with me, that teachers can teach, but also be collaborators and learn from students. And my students, my former students, are my mentees and my mentors. They're bright lights. They're thinking creatively. They're about the future. And I have learned so much, and I'm in touch with them to this day. And, they stay in my life. I've watched how they've grown, and I've really grown with them.
That's very interesting. To take a break from my own set of questions, I have here these red flags and green flags. The green flag are basically positive, straightforward questions, easy to answer. The red flags are more interesting questions, which requires more work towards the problem statement in the question. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give you the liberty. Do you want to pick up the green flag or the red flag?
Well, I should be ready for a challenge.
Yes.
Given all of the inspiration that I've heard today. So I think I'll pick a red flag.
Okay. I'm done. In the case of red flag, we were talking about how you can get collaboration easily wrong. Has there been one example or any one scenario where we are going towards collaboration, but we are going at such a rate, or we are doing certain things that could get it wrong at some point in the future as well? Do you think at some point we need to be wary of the kind of collaboration we'll be doing in the future?
Well, I'm now part of a collective discussion here with colleagues at Chick-Chai Locum about ways to be very thoughtful and the ways to bring in so many people from the beginning. And if I look back and if I understand what you're asking, were there moments where there was risk of acting in a different way that I've experienced? Yes, and I think I've learned from those. And at Synergos right now, we're very open in learning through a new initiative that we have, which is Collaborative Communities for Action. And we're just learning together. And I think what I'm recognizing in that is as we look for opportunities, whether it's for co-investment around specific projects, or if it's identifying specific policy changes, whatever it is, I think there's risk if you try to do too much too quickly, or if you try to address every single initiative, because we just don't have the bandwidth.
Yeah.
So the beauty of what we're doing now, I think, is that we rely and we trust and we see projects that are already underway by members of the global philanthropist circle that we have, individuals and families around the world. And instead of trying to do it all ourselves, we highlight that work and we have peer exchange. And then we bring in experts or social entrepreneurs from our network, and we hear those voices. And so I think we're trying to, in some ways, be a collective and allow those ideas to come forward, sometimes magically,
Right. Yeah.
and then sometimes with more intended kind of maybe structure so that we can develop those answers together.
Very interesting. Now, to take a pause from our long questions, long answers, let's do a quick round of rapid fire questions.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you.
I like that.
I'm going to ask you 3-4 set of questions.
Okay.
And you have to quickly answer either or all. All right?
Either or?
Of the two options I'll give you.
Oh, I see.
Yeah? All right. So, would you rather teach in a school or a college?
School.
Would you rather work on policy or on the ground?
On the ground.
Would you rather lead a small team or a large organization?
Large organizations.
Would you rather have funding security or creative freedom?
Greater freedom.
Really? That's
Yeah.
interesting. Would
Well,
you?
all of these, I have to say, are so nuanced, and I could go either way. But I was just speaking to school children,
Right.
and they're irresistible. So I chose that reason, and very influenced by some of what we're doing now.
No, if one thing, if you're at InvokED today, children have been an inspiration in so many ways. Just the work they do, the fact that they've come from all over India here to Bangalore to host InvokED has been so inspiring, honestly. To close off this interview, let's do a scenario. Let's say a genie comes to you and grants you 3 wishes. Okay, any 3 wishes you want. That will enable education equity. 3 things you can wish for that will enable education equity. Of course, it goes without saying you can't ask for more money or for more wishes. But if you had 3 wishes to enable education equity, what would they be?
Well, my first wish would be to continue with the incredible company and leaders that I am already so honored to be working with. Here in India, with the Shiva laws, with Shiksha Lokam, and with all the partner organizations. So my wish would be to continue and to even uplift more that work. My second wish would be to expand that in ways kind of unimaginable now, but to have that recognition by policymakers at the top level, also with a wider civil society, how critically important this issue is. And right now, from the joy of being here in Bengaluru, my third wish now is going to be spending more time when I can in India.
You should come here more often.
Okay.
We'd love to have you here. Not just Bengaluru, I think there's so many parts of India and aspects of India that I personally would like you to experience someday. But on a personal note, I mean, I've been talking to you since yesterday. You've been so kind with all our conversations, giving me time, just talking to someone you don't know. So you've been very, very kind. Thank you so much for giving us time here. And thank you so much for your stories, your insights, and your wisdom. And thank you to our audience for tuning in. Stay connected, keep the dialogue going, and see you in the next episode. Thank you.